Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Sophie, and as always, I'm here with Leo.
Hey everyone! I'm really excited about today's topic. It's something I think many of us don't talk about enough, wasting our lives without even realizing it.
Absolutely. Sometimes I scroll through my old photos or social media, and I think, wait, did I really spend that much time binge-watching shows I barely remember? It's crazy how easy it is to lose days, weeks, even years without noticing.
I totally get that. And I felt that way too. Like I'm just floating through life, checking tasks off a list, but not really living. It can feel frustrating, even scary.
Exactly. And that's what we want to explore today. How do we stop drifting and start living intentionally? How do we notice the little ways we waste our time and energy?
Yes, we're going to share personal stories, practical tips, and some honest reflections. And of course, we want this to feel relatable, like a conversation with friends rather than a lecture.
And before we dive in, a quick reminder, if you enjoy this podcast, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. We also have a PDF with the full conversation to help you practice.
So let's jump in. Sophie, I want to start by asking you something simple but powerful. What does wasting your life mean to you? I feel the same. It's like living on autopilot, doing things because they're expected, not because they bring meaning.
Perfect. And that's exactly what today's conversation is about. So, Leo, let's talk about the little ways we waste our lives. For me, it's often overthinking. I spend hours worrying about what could go wrong instead of just trying something.
Oh, I can relate. I used to spend so much time planning every step before even starting. It felt safe, but looking back, it was mostly fear disguised as preparation.
Exactly. And that fear can quietly steal years from you. I remember a time I wanted to start painting again after years of not touching a brush. I kept saying, I'm too old or I'm not good enough. And in reality, I was just scared to start.
Wow, I've done the same with writing. I kept a journal for years, but I never shared my work or even finished stories because I worried about judgment.
That's so relatable. It's amazing how fear shows up in everyday life, in small ways, and keeps us stuck.
Yeah, and the tricky part is that fear often feels practical. We tell ourselves, I'm being responsible, but really, we're avoiding discomfort.
Right. And sometimes we distract ourselves instead, like endless scrolling on social media or binge-watching shows, as I mentioned earlier. It's not bad to relax, of course, but when it becomes a habit to avoid life, it's a problem.
I like that distinction, relaxing versus avoiding. For me, I noticed it when I'd come home from work and just sit in front of the TV for hours, feeling exhausted but also empty.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's like your body is resting, but your soul is waiting for something real.
And I started asking myself simple questions. What did I actually do today that matters to me? It was painful at first because often the answer was nothing meaningful.
That's such a good exercise. I try that too sometimes at the end of the day. Even small actions count, like calling a friend, reading a chapter of a book, or learning a new skill.
Definitely. I want to introduce a phrase I recently learned, to invest in yourself. It means doing things that may not pay off immediately, but grow your skills, happiness, or well-being over time.
I love that. And it's different from wasting time. Investing in yourself could be taking a course, journaling, exercising, or even just reflecting.
Another phrase I find useful is stop spinning your wheels. It's like being busy without moving forward.
Oh yes, I've felt that so many times. Doing tasks, checking emails, being productive on paper, but feeling stuck inside.
And the scary thing is, if we're not careful, spinning our wheels can become a habit. We start confusing motion with progress.
Absolutely. I remember a time I was working on a project at my old job. I stayed late every day, answering emails, organizing files, but I never advanced the actual project. At the end of the month, I felt drained but not accomplished.
That's the danger. You feel productive, but your life is passing by. And it's easy to rationalize it. I'm responsible, or I'll get to my dreams later.
That's exactly it. And what about relationships? I think we sometimes waste our lives there too. By staying in connections that don't lift us up, or by not nurturing the ones that do?
Yes, I had friends who I barely talked to because I was busy, and I realized I was losing valuable time with people I cared about.
It's so painful to look back and realize that we ignored important connections. And the longer we wait, the harder it gets.
True, and that's why this topic is so emotional. We're not just talking about time or achievements, but about the richness of life itself.
Absolutely. And even small choices matter. Saying yes to something meaningful or no to something that drains you. Those decisions compound over time.
I love that perspective. Small, intentional choices, like planting seeds that grow into a life you actually want.
Exactly. And I'd like to share another expression. Life is short but wide. It means we don't have endless years, but we can live fully in the time we have.
That hits hard, because it reminds me that it's not about doing everything, but about doing what matters.
Right. And sometimes stopping the waste is as simple as noticing it. Just paying attention to where your time goes, how you feel at the end of the day.
Yeah, awareness is the first step, and then comes action, even if it's tiny.
So true. And honestly, that's where I see the most growth. Not in grand plans, but in small, consistent steps that shift your life bit by bit.
I completely agree, and I hope our listeners feel a bit of relief hearing this. It's not about perfection, it's about starting today.
Exactly. It's never too late, and even one conscious choice can change the course of your life.
So, Sophie, let's get practical for a moment. How do we notice the things we're wasting time on? For me, I started by keeping a small journal, just noting how I spent my day.
That's a great idea. I do something similar. I jot down not just what I did, but how I felt after each activity. It's amazing how many things that seemed okay actually drain your energy.
Exactly. And sometimes the things we think are productive aren't really moving us forward. For example, scrolling through news endlessly. You think you're informed, but in reality, you're just filling time.
Oh, yes. I call that busy work masquerading as growth. You feel like you're doing something important, but it's really just a distraction.
I love that phrase. I also started asking myself every morning, if today were my last, what would I choose to do? Not to be morbid, but to prioritize what really matters.
That's powerful. I tried that too, and it really shifts your perspective. Suddenly, the small irritations or pointless tasks feel optional.
Exactly. And it's not about doing everything perfect. Even choosing to spend an hour creating something or connecting with a friend can be a huge win.
You know, Leo, I realized I waste a lot of time overthinking small decisions. I'll spend hours deciding what to cook or what to wear, as if it's life or death.
I do that too. I call it mental traffic jams. Your brain gets stuck on little things, and suddenly half the day disappears.
That's a perfect term, and the antidote is just simplifying. Make quick choices on small things so your mind has space for what really matters.
Absolutely. Another area people waste life is waiting for the right moment. I spent years waiting to start a blog, thinking conditions had to be perfect.
Oh, I know that feeling. I wanted to start a fitness routine for months, always saying, I'll start Monday, but Monday never came.
Exactly. And what I learned is the right moment is often just now. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to begin.
Yes, and I want to introduce a phrase that really stuck with me. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. It means we can delay action trying to make everything perfect and end up doing nothing.
That's a game changer. It's so relatable because so many of us procrastinate under the guise of perfectionism.
And even small imperfections don't matter. What matters is the act of starting and learning along the way.
Absolutely. And once you start, momentum builds. One small step leads to another, and suddenly, you've made real progress.
You know, Leo, another thing I notice is how much we waste life comparing ourselves to others. I've done that constantly, checking social media, comparing my progress with others.
Oh yes, I've been trapped in that too. You see someone else's highlight reel and think, I'm behind. But in reality, it's just a snapshot, not the full story.
Exactly. And comparison can be toxic because it makes you undervalue your own journey. Your path is unique.
I like to remind myself, run your own race. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Focus on your growth, your joy, your life.
I love that. And it's a relief too, because it shifts the focus from competition to personal fulfillment.
Yes, fulfillment. And sometimes that's as simple as spending a few minutes a day on something meaningful, a hobby, a walk, a conversation with someone you care about.
Or even just reflecting on what you're grateful for. I know it sounds small, but gratitude changes your mindset. You start noticing what truly matters instead of what's trivial.
Absolutely. And I want to share another phrase. Don't postpone happiness. It means stop waiting for big milestones to feel good. Find joy in the little moments too.
That's beautiful. I think we get so caught up in someday thinking, I'll be happy when, that we forget life is happening right now.
Yes, and that's where awareness and intentionality meet. You notice what you value, and then you act, even in small ways, to align your life with those values.
That reminds me, I've started a simple ritual. Every evening, I write down one thing I did that day that made me feel alive or proud. It doesn't have to be big, just small wins.
I love that. It builds a sense of purpose and helps you see progress, even when life feels slow or messy.
Exactly, and it counters the feeling of wasted time. Even tiny actions, when noticed and appreciated, count as meaningful.
That's such an important point. Wasted life isn't just about doing nothing. It's about neglecting your awareness and choices. Paying attention transforms the ordinary into something valuable.
Yes, and that's what I want everyone listening to take away. You don't need to overhaul your entire life at once. Start small, notice what drains you, and make tiny shifts toward what energizes you.
I couldn't agree more. Even one intentional change, like calling a friend you've been avoiding or starting a creative project, can ripple into bigger changes over time.
Absolutely. And the key is to begin, not wait. Begin today, even in a small way.
Sophie, I've been thinking about another way people waste their lives: fear of failure. I know I've held myself back countless times because I was scared to fail.
Oh, absolutely. Fear of failure is huge. I remember wanting to start my own small business years ago, but I kept thinking, what if I mess up? What if people judge me? And the truth is, I almost didn't try at all.
I've been there too. I delayed learning new skills or taking opportunities because I thought I might fail, so better not try. And looking back, those fears were mostly imaginary.
Right. And I love the saying, failure is feedback, not a verdict. It means failing isn't the end. It's information to help you improve.
I love that. It changes how we see setbacks. Instead of seeing them as proof that we're not good enough, we can see them as lessons.
Exactly. And often the lessons from failing are far more valuable than the successes themselves. I've learned more from mistakes than from easy wins.
Me too. And another thing I notice is how perfectionism and fear of failure go hand in hand. We delay things until we feel ready, but readiness is a myth.
So true. And waiting for the perfect conditions often means never starting. I like to remind myself, start messy, finish strong. It gives permission to be imperfect at the beginning.
That's a great phrase. And starting messy also reduces the pressure. It frees you to experiment and learn as you go.
Absolutely. Another expression I found helpful is, courage is not the absence of fear, but action despite fear. It's so motivating.
Yes! Courage doesn't mean you don't feel scared. It means you move forward even when fear is there. And often, that movement leads to confidence and growth.
And that's a huge step in stopping the waste of life. Moving forward, even imperfectly, builds momentum and creates experiences, instead of staying stuck in fear.
Exactly. And I think many people also waste life by comparing their behind the scenes with others' highlight reels. I've caught myself thinking they're ahead of me, when really I don't see their struggles.
Oh yes, that's social media in a nutshell. We only see the polished moments, not the effort, failures, or struggles behind them.
And constantly comparing yourself to that can make you paralyzed. But if you focus on your own journey and small wins, you'll notice progress that matters.
That's so true. And speaking of small wins, I started celebrating even minor achievements, like finishing a tough workout, writing a paragraph, or organizing my desk.
I love that. It builds confidence and reminds you that progress doesn't have to be huge to be meaningful.
Exactly. And the key is noticing it. So often we overlook what we've accomplished because we're chasing bigger things.
That's very true. And another area people often waste life is energy, giving it to things or people that don't deserve it.
Yes, I've learned to be selective with where I invest my energy. It doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities, but choosing what truly nourishes you and what doesn't.
That's a great point. Energy management is just as important as time management. You can be busy but still feel empty if you're investing your energy in the wrong things.
Exactly. And I want to introduce a phrase here: protect your peace. It means setting boundaries and prioritizing what makes you feel calm and focused, rather than drained or anxious.
I love that. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's necessary to live a meaningful life.
Absolutely. And it's something we can practice daily, in small ways. Saying no to unnecessary commitments, limiting social media, or spending time with supportive people.
Yes, and sometimes we waste life without even noticing it by overthinking, procrastinating, or just moving through routines automatically.
Exactly. That's why awareness is so critical. Checking in with yourself, noticing how your time and energy are spent, and asking, is this really serving me?
And when the answer is no, we have the power to shift. Even tiny changes, like starting a creative project, calling a loved one, or taking a walk, can create meaningful differences.
Yes, and over time, these small, intentional actions add up. They prevent years from slipping by unnoticed.
That's so true. And I think a lot of us also waste life by waiting for external validation, approvals, compliments, or recognition from others.
Oh, yes, I used to do that constantly. I'd hold back ideas, avoid risks, and even silence my own desires, waiting for others to say, yes, that's good.
And in reality, that approval often never comes, or comes too late. It's better to trust your own judgment and move forward anyway.
Exactly. And that's where self-respect and self-trust come in. Valuing your own choices and taking action, despite fear, judgment, or uncertainty.
I love that, and the freedom in that is incredible. Once you stop waiting for others, you start living life on your own terms.
Yes, and that's the essence of stopping the waste of life. Awareness, courage, and intentionality.
Absolutely. And I hope our listeners are beginning to see that small, everyday actions, noticed and valued, can transform life gradually, but powerfully.
Leo, as we wrap up, I want to talk about another powerful idea: living with purpose. It sounds big, but it can start really small.
Absolutely. For me, living with purpose is about aligning my actions with my values. Even tiny choices, like how I spend my morning or who I call, can reflect what I truly care about.
Exactly. And it's not about grand gestures or dramatic life changes. Sometimes purpose is as simple as being present, helping someone, or creating something you love.
I love that. And I've noticed that when I live intentionally, even small moments feel richer, like enjoying a cup of coffee without rushing, or really listening when someone talks.
Yes, those little things often make life feel alive. And another phrase I love is make today count. Not in a stressful way, but in a way that reminds you every day matters.
That's such a good mindset. It reminds me that time is limited and every choice has value. Even ordinary days can be meaningful if we notice and act intentionally.
And I think it's important to mention self-compassion here too. We won't always make perfect choices, and that's okay. What matters is learning and adjusting along the way.
Absolutely. Life isn't about perfection. It's about engagement. Showing up, even when it's messy or imperfect, is what builds fulfillment.
That reminds me, I started keeping a joy list. Simple things that bring me happiness. Reading a chapter, calling a friend, going for a walk. It's a small daily reminder to choose life, not autopilot.
That's beautiful. I've done something similar. I write down one intentional act each day that aligns with my values. It keeps me focused and reminds me I'm in control of my choices.
Exactly. And over time, these small choices accumulate. They shape habits, mindset, and ultimately the quality of life we live.
And I think it's key to remember that we can start anytime. Today, not tomorrow. Even one small change in how we spend our time or energy can shift our path.
Absolutely. And sometimes just noticing the waste is enough to start change. Awareness leads to reflection, reflection leads to action, and action builds momentum.
That's very true. And I want to share one final expression for our listeners. Choose life intentionally. It's about being conscious of your choices, your time, and your energy.
I love that, and it ties together everything we've discussed. Stop overthinking, stop waiting for perfect conditions, stop giving power to fear, comparison, or distractions. Start small, notice, act.
Exactly. And remember, it's okay to take breaks, relax, and enjoy life. Intentional living isn't about constant productivity. It's about balance and purpose.
Yes, and for anyone listening, I hope you take away this. Life is too short to drift. Notice where your time and energy go. Start making small, meaningful changes, and protect your peace.
Absolutely. And don't wait for a wake-up call to realize you've been wasting your life. Begin today, even in a tiny way, and you'll be amazed how it grows.
And before we sign off, remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and download the PDF with the full conversation and vocabulary list. It's a helpful tool to practice and reflect on the ideas we've shared.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope this conversation inspires you to live intentionally, appreciate small moments, and stop wasting your life.
Yes, and we'd love to hear from you too. What's one small change you're going to make today? Think about it and start taking action.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Until next time, take care of yourselves and make every moment count.
Bye, everyone!